Fallout 4. It's the game that's been on the mind of almost every gamer since its announcement during the lead up to E3. All of us Fallout fans have been waiting to see what Fallout can be on the current gen consoles, so to get straight to the point, how is Fallout 4? It's remarkable. Not only do I think it's the best Fallout game, I think it's the best game Bethesda's ever made for a myriad of reasons. To start with, the gunplay's been overhauled completely in Fallout 4. Unlike in Fallout 3 where VATS was necessary because the shooting mechanics were pretty bad, you can genuinely play Fallout 4 more like you'd play a traditional shooter most of the time. That's not to say that VATS is useless now. It's been weakened a little from how it was in 3 in New Vegas. This is because VATS no longer completely freezes time, it just slows it, but VATS is still a crucial part of your arsenal. You need to use VATS to target strong enemies' weak points. This is particularly important when fighting legendary enemies. Legendary enemies are a new addition here. There are legendary variations of every enemy type. You can encounter everything from a legendary Deathclaw to a legendary Radroach. These enemies are stronger variations who'll always drop a legendary piece of loot. These enemies being peppered throughout the world are a great addition. They make the discovery of loot just a little more frequent without making it too frequent. The biggest addition to the series with Fallout 4 is all the crafting elements. Throughout Fallout 3 in New Vegas, you'd find a lot of junk that you'd pick up and then sell for a minuscule amount of bottle caps. Now all the junk that you find littered throughout the environment can be broken down and used for crafting, both to build up and fortify your settlements and to enhance your weapons and armour. This is my favourite addition with Fallout 4. I loved being able to take a weapon that I liked and refine it to perfection. This meant that I didn't have to switch my weapon to something I liked less just because it had a little more firepower. Instead, I could break down some weapons that I didn't like and use their parts to make my current gun equally as strong as the aforementioned weapon. The base building is fun as well, but it's not without its faults. Building up your base can be very clumsy at times. Placing walls and roofs is very awkward, and getting things to line up can be very finicky. Some of these mechanics are just a little unrefined. Nevertheless, it's still satisfying to build new structures, plant crops, make sources of clean water, and watch your town grow. But you also need to beware. If you're not careful, your land can be attacked by raiders, so it's crucial that you're building defences and assigning community members to protect your land. Of course, the majority of your time playing will be spent exploring the vast wasteland of Fallout 4. This is where Fallout 4 is at its best. It's easy to spend hours and hours just wandering the wasteland. There's just so much to see and do throughout this gigantic map. You'll want to stop and explore every building you come across, not only because you can often find useful items like ammo inside, but because of the best environmental storytelling I've ever seen in the game. You can find so many small stories, not only through hacking terminals for people's entries, but also through the placement of skeletons and items. In Fallout 4, the upgrade tree is the most robust it's ever been. Not only can you spend your skill points on perks, you can also put points into upgrading your special stats, which if you didn't know, stand for strength, perception, endurance, charisma, intelligence, agility, and luck. I like to invest points into charisma and strength, so I can try to diffuse a situation through conversation, but if worse comes to worse, I can fight my way out. It's pretty mind-boggling to think about just how many different ways you can play Fallout 4. Seeing as to a lot of people it is one of the highlights of a Bethesda game, I'll avoid going into the story, but you know from watching the E3 demo, the game opens before the world was destroyed. This is a cool way to let us see the world that we've lost in the Fallout universe. And of course, this opening is where you build your character. The character creation has been streamlined, but is now much better. When making your character, you'll be looking at them in a mirror. You then move a cursor over the part of the face that you want to change. When you click on it, you bring up a menu of choices. This is much simpler and faster than a bunch of sliders. So as you've probably noticed, I've been incredibly positive on Fallout 4. So you might be wondering when the other shoe's going to drop. The only thing that is a real problem with Fallout 4 are the bugs. Even on the new consoles, these games still have some technical issues. I played on PS4 and noticed a handful of frame rate drops, characters clipping through the environment, items floating in the air, and on occasion the game crashed my PS4. Still, it says a lot about Fallout that I can list these bugs and still say that it's one of my favourite games of the year. Even now, over 40 hours in, all I want to do is jump right back into the wasteland. I'm giving Fallout 4 a 9. If you enjoyed this review, please like and subscribe, or follow me on Twitter @ChrisFremo.